Hello, Dave here with Backyard Foundry. I've been wanting to do a video for a long time on protective equipment, or I guess the right way to call it is PPE, personal protective equipment for the foundry. So let me give you some of the bare minimums and the bare minimums of what I use in my foundry. The most important thing to protect for me is my eyes. So I use this full face shield, and you really should use this when you're looking into your furnace. You never know when something's going to pop and throw out some metal. So I like to put this full face shield on. And of course I want that on for when I'm pouring and when basically anytime I'm around the molten metal. One time I was casting on a day that was sort of overcast, almost drippy, and I didn't warm up my ingot pan. So I was pouring my ingots into the ingot pan, and I heard a pop, and my gutters are up there about 12 feet tall, 12 feet high up there, and I had metal splattered up the side of my siding the whole way up to those gutters. So like I said, things can happen and you need to be prepared. You really should cover your body as much as you can, like long sleeves, which I don't have, but I'm not melting right now. And you should have long pants on to cover your legs, because the metal, if it is a little splatter, it will just sort of brush off of your clothes pretty quickly. Now if you get it on top of your foot, I've had people tell me that they've had a little speck get on top of their foot and go right down through their shoe and into their foot, and that was nasty. So in fact, some people put metal covers over their shoes to guard against that. Other people do not lace their shoes tightly so that they can kick them off if something like that would happen. So I'm sort of up on the air about that. And the more experience you have, the more you'll know what you should do as well. But let me talk a little bit about gloves too. When I first started, of course, I had welding gloves. Welding gloves are good for splatters from the welder, but when they get hot, probably less than 1,000 degrees hot, here's what happens. They shrivel up. Look at that. They shrivel up and the heat goes right through them, and then you have to shake it off real quick so that your hands don't get burned. Look at how they shriveled. And my fingers don't even fit in there anymore. Can't put them in there. So, for Christmas one year, my wife got me some Foundry gloves. These Foundry gloves have, looks like I've put them through their paces a little bit. They're sort of torn up. Might need some new ones of these soon. But I've never felt any heat through these things. I mean, I lift up the lid to my furnace and set it to the side with these gloves, and I've never felt any heat through them. They're really a wonderful thing. And they do make suits. You can put the whole suit on, but there's a point that you can go overboard, because you have to be somewhat agile when you're casting and when you're melting metal. You have to, and that's another thing I was going to say, is that you should actually plan your casting and know where things are going to be before you start melting the metal, before you get things hot. Some people even have gone through the steps of taking the crucible out of the furnace, setting it down on a block, a brick. I like to use a fire brick to set my crucible on, or sometimes I just use a regular brick. But they'll go through that and they'll actually do each step so that they can see where their gas lines are, where everything is going to get laid, so that they can not have a problem of being clumsy and tripping and having a pretty major accident. Because let's be real, this is a dangerous hobby, because things can happen. You can get burned. I have never been burned. I guess I would have to say badly. I mean, I don't know. I don't consider a little burn on my finger, I don't consider that a burn, hardly. So yeah, thank you, my wife, for getting me my gloves. Okay, so yeah, plan out your steps, know where your lines are, know where everything is, so that you're not going to get in a bind when you have hot metal in your hands. Okay, so that is the essence of what I wanted to tell you. And just be careful, guys. Don't hurt yourselves. You know, it's a great hobby, a fun hobby, but it also is, like I said, it is dangerous. So I've been actually quite sick for the past couple years. I got a Lyme's type of bacteria in me that really sent me for a loop. So I am recovering now, not back to 100%, but I'm working on getting that bacteria out of my body. And of course I've been busy with life as well, but I am back. If you're not subscribed, subscribe and click that bell so that you're going to get notified of every time I put out new content, or if I go live, you'll get notified. And if you want to see my gardening channel, I'll put a link to that down in the description. I'm probably going to change this channel to Backyard Foundry if I can do that. I don't know if Google or YouTube will let me do that, but I'm going to go ahead and try to do that, because I've been warning people to get the gardening separated from this one for a while. If you're interested in gardening, go ahead and go to that video. I have done more gardening videos in the past couple years, just because gardening videos are a lot easier. You don't have, for me, you don't have to set up things, you don't have to plan as much. Alright, and YouTube is going to put a link to my last video up here, which I don't even know what that would be at this point. And they're going to put a link to a video that is going to interest you over on the other side, one side or the other, I'm not sure which. And then I'm going to put my little marble hand in one of these corners for a subscribe link if you're not subscribed. And remember, you can always share this out to someone that you know would love it. Alright, thanks for watching. Have a blessed day. We'll see you again soon.